be cooking up some spaghetti today. Now this spaghetti, we're going to serve it up the end with a sort of meaty sauce. So we're going to make some homemade tomato sauce, fry up some mincemeat, mix it all together, and then you bring it all into one pot with the spaghetti at the end, serve it up on a plate, a little bit of parmesan, and you've got something really tasty. So let's go through the ingredients and then get on with the cooking. Now the first thing we're going to do is to make a homemade tomato sauce. Now for that, I'm going to use 2 cans of tomatoes. I'm using chopped tomatoes, but you could use plum tomatoes, whatever tomatoes you like. Now I've also got 3 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to peel and, chop them up fairly fine, add a little bit of olive oil, just gently fry them in the frying pan. And once you've got your cans of tomatoes in there, just a little bit of salt and pepper, and also add a little bit of sugar as well, because what you want to do is just take a little bit of the acidity out, slightly sweeten the sauce, but do that to taste. So that'll take about half an hour cook time. Now whilst the tomato sauce is cooking, we're going to cook up the mince. Now I've got an equal split, 250 grams of beef steak mince, 250 grams of pork mince. So mix those together, season them up, a little bit of salt and pepper, and just sort of fry them in the frying pan, get your mince cooked. Now towards the end, we're going to get on with the spaghetti. Now with the spaghetti, just use a pan of boiling water, salty water, and then I'm going to add in 1 vegetable stock cube, or you could use chicken stock if you like, but I'm going to use vegetable stock. And you just boil, your spaghetti until it's just about cooked. And then you drain it off, cool it down a little bit. And then once you've, got it all back in the pot, add a little bit of butter, mix in this sort of meaty tomato sauce that we've made up, and you just end up with something really wonderful, and it's nice and simple to do. So there's all the ingredients. Now what we're going to do first of all is to get on with the homemade tomato sauce, because that's going to take the longest. So we're going to get on with the cooking. Now I'm just going to take the lid off. I'm going to start off, put a bit of olive oil in the pan. That's it. Now we'll switch the heat on. Start from about a medium, and then we can drop it down. Now just let it warm up a little bit, and then we can add the garlic. Now don't overdo the garlic, you don't want to burn it because it's going to go bitter. So quickly give that a stir around, turn down the heat if it's a bit high, and there's a lot of smoke, but it's not actually burning yet. And then I'm going to go straight in with the cans of tomatoes. 1, and you've got the other one. Get that quick mix. That's it. Now I'm also going to add some salt and freshly ground black pepper. Now with the tomato sauce, we're going to leave that in total for about 30 minutes, but in 10 minutes time I'm going to come back, add some sugar, and then we're going to start tasting it to try and get the sauce really nice. Now temperature wise, somewhere between low and medium, so it's kind of bubbling away, just gently cooking, and now and again give it the occasional stir. So we'll come back in about 10 minutes time for the tomato sauce. Now what I'm going to do next is get myself a frying pan, and we're going to start mixing up, seasoning and frying up the mince. Now with the mince, again I'm just going to season it. The hob's not hot at the moment, so thought I'd do it in front of the camera. And again, just put some salt on there. That's it. And then we can just really kind of gently just mix this in, and then I'll add just a final little bit more salt on top. Again. That's it. So that's ready to go now. Now I'm going to get myself a frying pan, and again put some oil in the pan. You want enough to be able to fry it off really, so make sure you've got enough in there. Switch the heat on. I'm going to start on about sort of medium to high really, so start on high just to bring it up, add the mince, turn it round, get a little bit of colour on it, and just make sure you cook the mince thoroughly. So I'm going to start with a hot pan. Let's just put the mince in. spread that out. Just try and really get a little bit of colour on it, but do stir it. So I've had my mince cooking, probably for about 7 or 8 minutes actually, and I reckon mine's done, so I'm going to switch it off now. So take that off the heat. Now I'm going to go back to the tomato sauce because I need to add a little bit of sugar into that. Now with the sauce, remember, give it a stir. Make sure it's not sticking to the bottom or anything. Now I'm going to put some sugar in there. I know it's going to need it because it always does. Now you can start off with like a tablespoon. Now I know I'm going to need a little bit more than that. So I'm going to add in probably about 1.5 tablespoons. See how we go. Give that a stir. And once the sugar's sort of dissolved, then we can, you know, really just give it a quick taste. And try and get the right amount of sugar in there for you, because it will really make this dish. So let's get a spoon and have a quick taste. It's nice. I'm just going to add a little tinsy bit more for me. But you know, as I say, keep doing it. Add a little tiny bit of sugar if you need to, try and improve it, but don't go overboard where you put too much in. Just get it how you like it. So now we've got the tomato sauce cooking away, we've added the sugar and got it just how we like it. Now I'm going to leave that for another 20 minutes roughly, so in total it would have been cooking for about half an hour. Once that's done, then you can tip that into the mince, because obviously we've cooked the mince, that's sitting there in the frying pan, and then you just add tomato sauce once that's ready to go. So the only other thing we need to do is the spaghetti. So we're going to get on with the spaghetti. Now I've actually got cold water in the pan, just going to switch it on to maximum, get some salt, use plenty of salt. Also I've got me vegetable stock, going to put that in, and also just going to put a little bit of olive oil in there as well. Put a lid on there, let that come to a boil. Once it's come to the boil, then we can add the spaghetti. Now I'm going to go in with the spaghetti. I usually use like a big spoon or something just to kind of push it down once it's softening up a little bit, so you don't burn yourself. And I'm just using a fork just to kind of quickly mix this around really. Try and separate it all. That's it. We should give that the odd stir now and again. Now, my spaghetti says 8 to 10 minutes, so I'm probably going to do mine for just about 8 minutes. Taste a bit until it's just done, really. And then we're going to take it off the heat, put it under cold water and drain it off. So, you know, I would say if your spaghetti says 10 to 12 minutes, maybe you want to be tasting it around about 9 minutes until it's just cooked. So, leave that bubbling away. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my frying pan back. And also, I'm going to blend up the tomato sauce, and then we're going to mix in that sauce with the mince. So I'm going to blend my tomato sauce. Now I'm just going to switch it off a minute. Let's get me stick blender. Now you should really let it cool down before you do this, in case you get the splashes, so maybe wear an apron or something, but I'll just be careful. Just want to do that to get it nice and smooth. I think that'll do us. With the sauce, I've got mine how I want it, and let me just taste it again. That's lovely. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pour some, maybe not all of that sauce, in with the mince. Because, you know, you can always use this as a separate pasta sauce another day, but, you know, it's up to you, Matt, how much you want to add. Now, just bring that up to the heat, and then I'm going to put in the homemade tomato sauce with the mince. All right, just move that around. Probably turn that down a little bit, it's not what? It's a bit high. Doesn't even need quite that hot. So now I've got the tomato sauce and the mince mixed together. We just want to gently let those bubble away really, and they're done. So just leave that until the spaghetti's done, and then we can just bring it all together in the same pot. So I've had the spaghetti bubbling away for about 8 minutes. Now I have checked it. I'm going to just check it again because I think we're just about there. Gotcha. Now let me just try that. That is only just cooked. So I'm going to take mine off the heat now. I'm going to tip it into a colander, rinse it under cold water and let it drain off thoroughly. That's it, that'll do us. So I'm just going to let that drain off thoroughly. So I've got my pan back again. We obviously rinsed under cold water and then I've drained it off. Now I'm going to pop that back in the pan. Doesn't matter, a little bit of water. Now also I'm going to add the butter. I'm just going to add that little bit of butter there. Just give it a quick mix around like this. And also just a little bit of olive oil. And then what we can do is add that meaty mixture. And then really we just need to give this a good old mix. Try and get everything coated with that salty flavour. So we can take that over the table now and serve it up. It's all done, ready to go. So I'm just going to serve some of that up. That's it. Now also, I'm going to add a little bit of parmesan. I think that'd be really nice. Always love a bit of parmesan on my spaghetti, pasta. Lovely. Let's just try some of that. Let's go in. Let me just see how that is. That is really lovely, saucy. It's got some beautiful flavours. You get the tomato sauce coming through. It doesn't taste like lots, you know, really sweet or anything. It's just nice, and with that sort of mixture of different minces, wonderful dish. Give it a try. It's delicious. Thanks for watching all my videos, and I'll see you on the next one. And if you haven't subscribed and you like what I do, please click the subscribe button. I always appreciate that. So see you again soon, the original Naked Chef. I really enjoyed that. See you soon.